Welcome to Most Love Wrestling, a place where wrestling is most loved. And I want to talk to you today about the Bloodline. But before I do, I need you to do me a favor. Click the like button, subscribe to my bullshit, press the notification bell too while you're there. It helps with the algorithm. So if you like what I'm doing and believe that the world deserves to bear witness, then this is how you can make it happen. But let's talk about it. For the Anoa'i family, their officially recognized tribal chief is Roman Reigns. But in Roman's absence, the tribal heir Solo Sikoa, he has stepped up and now sits at the head of the table. But although he sits at the head of the table, that does not make him tribal chief. Or does it? Because it's clear that the Samoan dynasty, they value strength. So I believe the position of tribal chief has been put into question ever since Cody Rhodes defeated Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40. And that's one of the building blocks which has led to this conversation which you're about to have. So who could be sitting at the head of the table? Who could be acknowledged as tribal chief when this is all said and done? It looks to me like we got ourselves a potential Game of Thrones for the Umafala. The way I see it, the power and the influence in the family could shift on the drop of a hat. But let's look at the players. In my humble opinion, Tangaloa has 0% chance of ever becoming the tribal chief. I don't even think he's got what it takes to sit at the head of the table temporarily whilst the tribal chief is out. My man doesn't even speak. At this point, he's literally just there to make up the numbers. And I'm sorry, you will struggle to convince me otherwise. So I'm gonna just keep it a buck. 0 out of 10 chance this man ever rises to the tribal chief. 0 out of 10 chance he even rises to be the right hand man. But we move. But his brother Tamatonga, I feel differently about. Now, he will still never reach tribal chief status, but at least we've heard him talk, and at least he's got some sort of personality. Like, it's a very weird one, but it's a personality nonetheless. At times he's like a feral beast, but when I tell you, this brother can go in the ring. And let's be honest, this man has carried the Bloodline 2.0. All the matches have been on him. All his brother knows how to do is run interference. But like I said, right now he's got a ceiling. And that ceiling makes him bound to a lifetime of just being a henchman. But at least he can rest knowing that he could make it up to the moniker of right hand man. But what about the man that he destroyed on his debut? Jimmy Uso, the man that's always wanted to be the right hand man, but never could. One half of the longest reigning tag team champions. The man that calls all the audibles, the man that runs all the plays. But that all stopped when he was betrayed by his younger brother Solo Sikoa. But with that being said, he's been written off TV ever since WrestleMania 40, the night where Tamatonga debuted. And when he returns, he's got every reason to not want to make any jokes. He's got every reason to just want to take people's heads off. However, that's a hypothetical. And if you read this man's character right now, he can only sit at the head of the table in his personal family home. And that's only as long as his twin brother Jey Uso decides that he doesn't want to move in. Jey Uso's the original right hand man, the man that was groomed for 3 years by the official tribal chief Roman Reigns to be next in line. And this was before Solo Sikoa was anointed. We've got to recognise that the Yeet Master is a top babyface over on Monday nights. Now look at all the merchandise sales. Look at all the main events, and that obviously makes sense given that his nickname is Main Event. And soon I think it's going to be Mr. Money in the Bank. The main thing with the Bloodline is success. Fruits of your labour to signify the fact that you can lead. 80% of men's Money in the Bank winners become the champion. So I like Jey Uso's chances of returning to his family with a world championship in order to assert himself as somebody that's a true contender to be head of the table, to be tribal chief. And his rogue little bro Solo Sikoa, he would hit me with a spike right now for what he would deem as talking crazy. But this rogue Solo Sikoa has apparently lost his way. He's not acknowledging Roman. He's kicking fuckers out of the Bloodline. He's recruiting them into the Bloodline. People that was apparently vetted by Roman. And Roman himself said hell to the no. But like I said, Roman's not here now. Solo Sikoa is recognized as head of the table. And on top of that, most recently, we got Solo Sikoa saying that Roman Reigns is not coming back. But answer me something. Now that he's felt that power, would he want to give it back? Would he just hand it over to somebody new? I don't know about that. I don't think he would. This has potential to turn into a full-blown mutiny. And he seems to be in full control of the Tongans. And to me, they have 0 chance of becoming tribal chief or head of the table, but they are well equipped to be henchmen. And if they are as firmly behind Solo Sikoa as it appears, then he's got a strong chance of retaining this position as head of the table even when Roman comes back. So I'll give him like a 7 out of 10 chance of concluding this book not only as head of the table, but as tribal chief. But as I said before, he's recruiting people. He recruited somebody just this SmackDown gone, who figuratively and literally made a big splash. Clearly the new enforcer of the Bloodline. And the word on the street is he's got Tangaloa shook, and Solo Sikoa has already been outshined by him. And when you look at it, how can you even disagree? Did Solo Sikoa take out 3 world champions on his debut? I don't remember that. All we got was him coming out with a hoodie, jumping out the crowd and pulling a referee out of the ring before they could count to 3. But don't get me wrong, it was a great debut, a memorable debut. It changed the Bloodline for the better. But when you put these side by side, do you think this matches up? Get the fuck out of here, it's not even close. My man Jacob Fatu dominated as soon as he came through the door. Jacob's arrival is going to stay legendary. And remember what I said, the Samoan dynasty, they respect power and strength. Now if we already think that Jacob Fatu is outshining Solo Sikoa, why wouldn't the Samoans think so? Why wouldn't the people in the Bloodline feel that Jacob Fatu is more equipped to lead them than Solo Sikoa? Let me tell you something, what if Jacob Fatu sees it that way? What if he looks at it and says, I feel I'm more equipped to lead than this guy. I'm more dangerous than this guy. I put in more work than this guy. What if he says, you know what? I'm best fit to be the tribal chief. I'm best fit to sit at the head of the table. The Tongans are already afraid of him. And where there's fear, there's power. And where there's power, there's respect. So if he decided that he wanted to make a play for the Umafala, there is no doubt that the Bloodline 2.0 will definitely fall in line. But still, I give him a 5 out of 10 chance of becoming head of the table if he was to take that route. And that was all based on strength. But tell me this, what says strength like 10 world championships? What says strength like being the biggest star in the world? What says strength like literally sitting on the board of directors table for the company and organization that we all work for? I don't see a round where the final boss, The Rock, couldn't seize the head of the table or the tribal chief position whenever he sees fit, given his influence. Hell, I'm not gonna lie, I believe that he's the tribal chief that Tama Tonga keeps mentioning anytime he says, by order of the tribal chief. And you might say, oh, he's just talking about Solo. And he could be. But if he's talking about Solo, why doesn't he just say, I'm talking about Solo? Why does he not just say, the tribal chief Solo Sikoa? No one had a problem saying the tribal chief Roman Reigns when Roman Reigns was clearly the tribal chief. If they are following Solo, what is the reason for all this hiding? They could easily just say, I acknowledge you, Solo Sikoa, as my tribal chief, and be done with. Like if I was trying to seize the throne of England, but had the entire population and England's army at my back, then 100% you can call me the new king of England. So as it pertains to Solo Sikoa, why are they hiding? What's with the secrecy? Why can't they say it? Maybe because the tribal chief that they are talking about is not Solo Sikoa, it's the Great One. Solo Sikoa said Roman Reigns is not coming back, but Paul Heyman said that we got strict instructions to keep Cody in check for when he does return. So which one is it? Maybe Solo has this level of confidence because he's now the right hand man to the TKO board final boss, The Rock, someone who has the power to politic and prevent Roman Reigns from returning. What if The Rock's lost faith in Roman Reigns? You could say that Roman Reigns lost all his power, strength and influence when he lost the undisputed WWE Universal Championship to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40. But then on the other side of that, The Rock was the last person to pin Cody Rhodes. Roman Reigns lost to Cody Rhodes and lost that power. But The Rock never lost to Cody Rhodes. The way the Samoan dynasty might interpret it is The Rock was able to beat Cody Rhodes, but Roman Reigns was not. And you'd pretty much come out on top of any physical altercation that they would have, even if you would have to admit there were some other variables at play. And I already stated all the things that The Rock's got going on for him. And I've said time and time again how much strength and power means to the Samoan dynasty. Now I've got to give the Brahma Bull a 9.5 out of 10 chance of officially becoming the final boss because he's got a lot of pull. Now for the real tribal chief, the one that we all need to acknowledge, put your ones in the sky, acknowledge him. No, acknowledge him. I'm not moving on with this video until we acknowledge him. Thank you. Roman Reigns is the man that's universally acknowledged as the tribal chief. He's the longest reigning world champion we've had in over 30 years. He beat everyone that came and stepped up, and he dealt with all the adversity that he had to deal with for 1316 days. How the hell can you justify refusing to acknowledge him because of one defeat. And I think that would be a bit disingenuous and disgusting and hypocritical out of the rest of the Bloodline members, especially Solo Sikoa, given that he's only started winning recently. He's literally got the best track record out of every member of the Bloodline. And let's be real, a lot of these men would be on NXT if it wasn't for the groundwork that Roman Reigns did. He got Jay over, he cut Solo Sikoa's NXT time short and got him promoted. He made the Usos undoubtedly the greatest tag team of all time. And now all Samoan wrestlers that have Anoa'i, Fatu, Maivia blooded men get to skip NXT and come straight up to the main roster as long as they've done some groundwork on the indies and they look good. That's all off the back of Roman Reigns. So if I'm going to be honest, a mutiny against this man, if you are part of that dynasty, it just seems very, very irresponsible. However, I have to acknowledge that he doesn't hold the championship and he hasn't legitimately been heard from by anybody since WrestleMania 40. So if someone abandons you for 3-4 months, I think it's fair to lose faith in them. And Roman Reigns has been known to abuse his power and abuse his family. But make no doubts about it, he elevated himself and he elevated that said family. And I also can't doubt that if he was to remain at the head of the table, he would even further elevate them. And of course, the Bloodline can acknowledge that. So I also give Roman Reigns a 9.5 out of 10 chance of remaining the head of the table and tribal chief. But what do I think's actually going to happen? I do think that when this story is concluded, when this book is closed, that Jey Uso will be head of the table, that Jey Uso will be the one leading the family going forward. I believe that once they've dealt with Bloodline 2.0, Roman Reigns will ride off into the sunset, and before he does that, he'll give the Umafala and acknowledge Jey Uso as his tribal chief and as head of the table, and then that in turn will make sure that the rest of the Bloodline do the same thing. Who knows? Maybe some Bloodline 2.0 members might turn over to the original Bloodline and acknowledge Jey Uso too. Or maybe this could be a forever war. Kind of like Carlson Gracie and Gracie Barra, if you understand jiu-jitsu terms. But I think I've got everything off of my chest about the Bloodline now. Thank you for listening to my bullshit. Don't forget to leave a like, remember to subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comment section down below.